This entire video is going to be dedicated to easy guitar maintenance that you can do at home. So I know a lot of you out there pay for setups and string changes, and it adds up, especially if you have multiple guitars and you're going like monthly or every other month. It gets expensive, and a lot of this stuff you can do at home pretty easily with semi-limited supplies. If you're new here, hi, I'm Wilson, a music composer and mixing engineer, but I've been playing guitar longer than that. So if you're looking to take some of your guitar tech matters into your own hands, then be sure to watch this video. Today, I'm gonna start by taking off the old dead strings. I'm gonna polish the body and the pick guard and all that grime that builds up around the pickups. I'm gonna show you how to get that off. It's easier when the strings aren't there. And then we're gonna apply lemon oil to the fretboard to hydrate it. So you really only need to do this on rosewood or darker neck guitars. Maple doesn't have this problem, but rosewood will kind of dry out as it ages and start to crack a little bit. So I occasionally, not every time I do a string change, but occasionally I'll go through and put lemon oil on it. And then after that, we're gonna put the strings back on, make sure it's in tune and check the intonation. And then if there's any buzzing or action changes I wanna do at that point, I'll show you how to do it. So I'm gonna run through all the supplies I have. You don't need all of these, but if you wanna do certain parts of it, you might need it or it might be helpful. So I have this Dunlop guitar neck thing here. It just supports the guitar so it's not laying flat. Makes it easier to access and everything. I've got a little string winder thing. Check that out there. All right. This just helps you get the strings on faster. I've got a little, it's called Gizmo, Guitar Gizmo multi-tool. That just helps to, it's got like pliers and cutters and Allen wrenches and that kind of thing. You definitely don't need that. You probably have all those tools laying around, but it's all in one place and I keep it with my guitar stuff. I also have this Dunlop 65 guitar polish and cleaner. So that's gonna be what we're using on the body to make it look nice. For the frets, I have Dunlop 65 fretboard lemon oil. And then of course, new pack of strings. And I have a couple just cloths because as we use some of these sprays and polishes, it's gonna get a little messy, so we'll clean it up. Usually when I'm changing strings, I try not to take them all off at once. I usually just change one at a time to keep tension on the neck and that kind of thing, but occasionally when you want to do this kind of deeper cleaning and setup, it's helpful to just take them off completely, kind of give you a fresh start. Hopefully the top-down camera can show you, but there's like a lot of fretboard grime and just like you can see where my fingers are rubbing on the wood. What we're gonna do is open up our lemon oil, and I give it a good couple passes and I press a little bit because I want to take off that grime. Because not only are we hydrating with this, but we're taking off a layer of dirt. And so I just go down. I don't necessarily avoid the frets, but I'm definitely focusing on making contact with the wood. So now you can go back to first fret where you started, take one of your cloths and just start rubbing in and wiping off the excess lemon oil. And I'm giving it a good bit of pressure when I do this too, because any of that like fretboard grime, I want to come off, not stay there. Every few frets, I'm getting a clean piece of cloth, so I'm not just rubbing the same dirt all over the frets. So now it should look a little shinier, less dry looking, should look overall a little cleaner and refreshed. That's done. I usually like to take some of just the lemon oil rag and run it on the back, kind of clean off the back of the neck, but I don't want to go too heavy on anything back there. Next, I'm just gonna polish up the body while we have it all open. All right, guitar polish. I just spray it on. There's no like, don't put too much, I guess. And it's okay if it gets on your pickups and stuff. It's not gonna do any damage. All right, and then just polish away. Try to get in any weird corners or nooks and crannies. You wanna just bring it back to life, get all the buildup, especially around these saddles. A lot of dirt builds up there. I try not to like straight up wipe the saddles because I don't want to mess up any intonation or anything that's there, but definitely the tops of the pickups. Anywhere you rest your hand is going to start to build up with something. Right where the pick guard meets the pickup. I've had these so long that the noiseless logo has rubbed off on the pickups. Anything that's shiny can be hit with this polish and it makes it look better. Flip it over. I'm gonna do a light coat on the back, although the back usually doesn't get dirty as quickly. Also, if your guitar is active or it uses a battery for whatever reason, now's a good time to change it, while you're at it. That way it doesn't happen at rehearsal or worse at a gig, just swap the battery. Okay, so now all your chrome should be looking a little more shiny. Body should be free of debris and all that. Oh, you can wipe the headstock too, because it's hard to get there when there's strings. Time for strings. I can't get them open. Need a strong person to come and open my strings for me. In case you're curious, I use straight up regular slinkies, like, what is it? 46 to 10. I've never been into those coated strings. I just want regular $6 strings. So to get the size right here, I usually grab it right at the tuning peg and then go about 2 or 3 inches away and pull it back. And then just make sure it's about like 6 inches here, maybe a little less. I don't have a super specific method, I just eyeball it. I do put a little bend in the string there so it doesn't go through too far. Slide it on in there, make sure that's good. And then my guitar has these like deluxe tuning pegs that clamp down on it, so you can always do that if you have it. And then I go and seat it in the nut, and I press down right there while I hold it with these fingers, just to keep it in line, and then it'll coil right where you want it. I also like to bend up the little piece so it doesn't hit me. And at this point, I don't bring it to tension yet, I just get it on there, semi-loose, semi-tight, whatever. It's about a fist height of space in there for the string, because you want it to go around the peg a couple of times, but not too many times. If you're doing a string that has a string tree, I try to go ahead and fit it under that before I tighten. It just makes things easier and it helps it to thread nicely. And I don't cut off all these little string pieces until I'm kind of done and make sure that everything's the way I like, because you never know. So once you get your strings on, go grab some sort of tuner. I'm gonna use my Zoom H4N, whatever it's called. But use whatever you have. All right, I've got my tuner here and I'm gonna go ahead and start bringing her up. And if you hear buzzing at this point, try not to worry about it too much, because usually once you get up to tension and get the string stretched out, it'll go away. You may have noticed that some of your strings have drifted back down in pitch. Yours might not be as bad as mine because I have the floating bridge starting to like come up a little bit, but as you go, you'll probably need to tune. I usually tune like 3 times or so, and then I'll stretch them out, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So now it's really close to in tune, but I'm gonna go ahead and stretch them out. This is just gonna help, like when I actually start playing, it's not drifting out of tune really badly, because you're getting that initial, like, all right, I'm stretching and drifting out of tune out of the way. So I like to start up at the top fret, press down, and just pull up gently. So sometimes I'll push with my thumb and pull up with my fingers, and then kind of just work my way down. And you don't want to pull too hard, because I've broken a string doing this before, but you definitely want to give it some tension, somewhere around the tension that'd be there when you bend, right? Because even if you get it in tune, but start bending on the new strings, then it's gonna drift again. And after you do this, it's definitely gonna be out of tune, so then you're gonna wanna tune a couple more times. And on the wound strings, like your E, A, and D, you can definitely give it a little bit more pull because they're tougher. That's just gonna help with your overall stability and keep you from having that whole day of like, oh, I need to tune every minute. I'm gonna tune it one more time and then check intonation and make those adjustments. So for intonation, if you're not familiar with intonation, it's basically making your guitar in tune with itself on each string. If you've ever like played a fret up higher, you know, 12th fret, 9th fret, whatever, and it sounds out of tune, but like you swear you tuned it, you just tuned it, you double checked, that could be an issue with your intonation. And the way to fix this is with some sort of little screw or slider or that kind of thing at the bottom of your bridge. It will push the saddle ever so slightly forwards or backwards, adjusting the intonation of your string. So the way you check this is by tuning your 12th fret harmonic with your 12th fret fretted. These need to be as close as possible. So make sure the string is in tune, check your harmonic, should be really similar to your open, and then press the fret. So mine is a little sharp on the fret. It's never gonna be perfect because when you pluck a string, it's pulling it sharp. So get it as close as you can. Mine's really close. I don't think I'm gonna need to make adjustments. Okay, this one needs adjusting. So mine is a Phillips head screwdriver. Yours should be, but just whatever it is, use that. Less is more with these adjustments. You just wanna do a little bit, see what happened, and then go from there. I'm not gonna try to remember if tighter or looser makes it sharper or flatter. Just change a little bit. If that was the right direction, move more in that direction. If it was the wrong direction, go the other way. So I'm gonna go whatever that is, clockwise. I just did a little bit. Now retune the string. And then check your harmonic. And check your fret. Still sharp, but not as sharp. So I'm gonna keep twisting in that direction. Maybe like another quarter turn or something. You also don't want to do much because this changes the tuning of your string. So if you do too much at once, you could break your string, especially if it goes sharp. Bring it back up to pitch, check harmonic, tune that, check the fret. Let me try it again. It's not quite getting where I want it to be. It's always the G string though, you know it is. One thing to mention, whenever I tune, I always go up to pitch. So if it's sharp, I tune below the pitch I need to be at and then tune back up. There's just a weird trick that I like that helps to keep tension on the string and helps improve your tuning stability. There we go. Once you do that, you should be golden on your intonation. Again, less is more and just small movements. Figure out which way you want to move, which direction you need to move to fix your issue. Go through it. You have to do it with a tuner. Don't try to do it with your ears. Finally, once you do that, if there's any buzzing, like play it a little bit, see if there's any buzzing. Also make sure to check your lower strings. If you're having buzzing at all, I would recommend starting with your truss rod. I'm not gonna do any adjustments. I'm just gonna tell you what you would do because I like how this is set up. But you wanna look down your truss rod, like put your face here and look this way. And you want it to be almost straight. But if it's kind of curving up a little bit, you'll need to either tighten or loosen. Again, just start one way and see, if it makes it better or worse. But you want to be almost straight, not like you can have a slight bow, but almost straight. And you'll make that adjustment usually up on the headstock. There's a spot for you to put an Allen wrench. On some guitars, you have to take the neck off and do it there. I hope that's not the case for you. It's easier when it's up there. Once you do that, if you need the strings any higher or lower, you can adjust the Allen wrenches on the saddles here. And just be careful, watch for buzz. Check your frets all the way up. If it's too buzzy, you can raise this a little bit, but that's gonna give you higher action. If your action's too high, you can lower it until you get buzz and then back it up just a little bit. But finding that kind of sweet spot on the balance is gonna get you the best blend between like playability and sounding good. If you have any questions about doing your own guitar setups or any of the things I mentioned here, please let me know in the comments. I'm gonna have all these products and things that I use down in the description, so you can go click the links and check them out if you're interested in anything specific. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks.